In 2024, Flair revealed that doctors told him he had suffered a legitimate heart attack during the match. He had passed out 3 times and nearly died in the ring in front of 7,000 fans.
Coming out of retirement was just you overthinking it and you thinking you can just still go at the ripe old age of like 70.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Amaj back here in another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by Wrestle Mafia. Video is going to be on most loved versus most hated WWE retirements. Retirements, bro. On screen, I think the John Cena retirement, it was good sometimes, you know, throughout the whole little like year we had with John, but like it was just kind of terrible in some parts. Like we got the heel run, but like they didn't know how to capitalize on the heel run, because like we don't want to see like John be heel in his like last year as like a wrestler. I wish it happened like way before, but like, you know, Cena didn't want to become heel. But like, yeah, this one was really kind of botched and half good in a sense. And Goldberg's retirement was the most disrespectful, like, well, one of the most disrespectful retirements. I like that they gave him, you know, a little comeback, you know, allowed him to wrestle, but like, here's the cutoff. Him and Cena both retired on a Saturday Night Live. I hate Saturday Night Live for a lot of reasons. If you ever watch my wrestling reactions, I mention that a lot every time it's brought up, because it's just one of those B PLEs. But yeah, they eventually cut Goldberg's like whole retirement speech like off the air, which is just highly damn disrespectful. No matter what you think about Goldberg, he deserves some respect out of like all his career, bro. That's what I think, bro, because it's just essentially fucked up. Let's get into it. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the wrestling videos.
A wrestler's retirement can either cement their legacy or ruin everything they've built over their career. From retiring as a legend to coming back for one last payday, here are wrestlers whose retirement shaped how the world remembers them. Starting with one of the most controversial retirements of all time. Shawn Michaels had what many consider the perfect retirement at WrestleMania 26.
Really was perfect.
After losing a classic match to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, Michaels became obsessed with getting a rematch. He eventually put his career on the line for another shot at breaking The Undertaker's undefeated streak. On March 28, 2010, in front of over 70,000 fans, Michaels lost the match and gave an emotional farewell speech on Raw the following night. It was the perfect ending to a legendary career. But then came the Saudi paycheck, and Michaels broke his retirement to team with Triple H against The Undertaker and Kane at Crown Jewel. The match was poorly received by fans and critics alike, with many calling it a stain on the legacies of everyone involved.
This was a really bad match, bro. If you ever want to go check out a terrible match with people just coming out of retirement, go check out this one, because essentially, like, I feel like this is like a Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment. Ric Flair has came out of retirement so many times, bro, and like I get the bag was like really good, but like, did you really need to like ruin your whole retirement for that? I feel like it was really unneeded. But like, we can't tell a grown man what to do, first of all. But the match was bad, bro. Kane's mask falls off, bro. Shawn botching, like, you know, jumping off the damn like turnbuckle, and it was just like seeing like four older people like wrestle past their prime, bro. It was bad.
Michaels himself later admitted he regretted the decision, but the damage was already done. While Michaels still considers WrestleMania 26 his true retirement and has repeatedly stated he won't return to the ring again, the fact remains that he came back for what many saw as nothing more than a Saudi paycheck. But while Shawn Michaels stumbled at the finish
I would have rather him came back for like a paycheck with AJ or something.
line, Sting proved that sometimes you get a second chance to retire the right way. After a legendary career spanning decades in WCW and TNA, Sting finally signed with WWE in 2014. His first match came at WrestleMania 31 against Triple H that featured interference from both D-Generation X and the NWO. Sting lost the match, but then at Night of Champions, Sting challenged Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Lost this one
During
too.
the match, Rollins delivered a buckle bomb that sent Sting crashing into the turnbuckle.
Well, let me get it right. Well, he lost this one too because like it was a botch from Seth Rollins. I don't blame Seth Rollins for all this, but like I think I just made a comment earlier today because they showed this whole thing, which is crazy 360. Uh, he literally threw he literally threw Sting into a buckle bomb, and that basically kind of like hurt him. And WWE wouldn't clear Sting, and it kind of like ended his career for like a little short stint. And that thing with Triple H earlier, we already went over this, bro. I hate that he didn't put over Sting. What would this? Why would this even benefit Triple H? He wasn't even wrestling anymore. He was in a authority role.
Damaged his spine and required surgery. His WWE run ended with 0 wins in pay-per-view singles matches and a potential career-ending injury. That
Disrespect,
could have been
bro.
the end of the story, a disappointing and anticlimactic finish for one of wrestling's biggest icons. But fate had other plans for the icon. After his WWE contract expired in 2020, he shocked the world by debuting in All Elite Wrestling at Winter is Coming. What followed was nothing short of magical. Sting teamed with Darby Allin and went undefeated in AEW, racking up win after win and proving he could still go at the highest level. On
That's
March 3rd,
fire, bro.
2024, at AEW Revolution, the same venue where he defeated Ric Flair for his first world championship back in 1988, Sting had his final match. He and Allin defended the AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks in a tornado tag team match that saw the 64-year-old icon wrestle like he was 20 years younger.
64,
Sting and
bro.
Allin won the match, and Sting retired in AEW as champion. The crowd gave him a standing ovation, and the Stinger cemented his legacy as a true icon. Sting has made occasional appearances since then, but hasn't wrestled another match. He didn't overstay his welcome, and went out on his own terms as a champion and a badass. But while
That's cool as fuck, bro. Like I said, one thing you can say about AEW, they do respect their wrestlers. Well, at times, I'm gonna give you that because like sometimes little hiccups can happen, but they do respect their wrestlers, especially when it comes to retirements. When it comes to retirements, they be giving them the most respect, and that's something like WWE needs to follow right now. That's something they need to really refire, especially following that Goldberg situation.
Sting got his redemption arc, Ric Flair is out here trying to set the record for the most number of retirements a wrestler can have. At WrestleMania 24 in Orlando, Ric Flair faced Shawn Michaels in a career-threatening match. After 20 minutes of back-and-forth action, Michaels looked at Flair with tears in his eyes before hitting the superkick and pinning Flair. The crowd erupted in a standing ovation as Flair made his way up the ramp for the last time. The next night on Raw, Flair gave an emotional goodbye speech surrounded by his fellow wrestlers. It was the perfect ending to a legendary 35-year career. Fans were saying this was one of the greatest retirement matches of all time, a fitting send-off for a 16-time world champion. But that ending lasted less than 2 years. In 2010, Flair showed up in TNA, arriving in a limo and immediately aligning with AJ Styles. Financial problems had driven him back to the ring, and what followed was a forgettable chapter in his career. He wrestled from 2010 to 2011 in TNA, suffering various injuries including a torn rotator cuff and a torn triceps. In 2016, Flair admitted that continuing to wrestle in TNA was the #1 regret of his career. Most people thought that was finally it. Flair had learned his lesson and would stay retired. But fast forward to 2022, at 73 years old, Ric Flair returned to the ring one more time for an event literally called Ric Flair's Last Match. He teamed with his son-in-law, Andrade, to face Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, and the match was a disaster. Flair looked his age and passed out multiple times during the bout. In 2024, Flair revealed that doctors told him he had suffered a legitimate heart attack during the match. He had passed out 3 times and nearly died in the ring in front of 7,000 fans. The Nature Boy had the perfect retirement at WrestleMania 24, one that could have sealed his legacy as the greatest of all time.
See, this is what happens when you just like kind of just, well, I guess the first thing that probably happened, probably just spending money uncontrollably, not watching your finances and stuff, especially as a whole wrestler. But the literal second coming out of retirement was just you overthinking it and you thinking you can just still go at the ripe old age of like 70. Oh my gosh, I still don't know why he ruined this. He should have just like, although we had some moments, we couldn't have had no moment. Well, he didn't have to like literally wrestle in like TNA. He could have still just been a figure, just like Hulk Hogan was. I mean, Hulk Hogan was wrestling anyway, I guess, but he still didn't have to wrestle, bro. That's how I just feel about it, bro. He kind of put a taint on his legacy, bro. With that whole thing, bro. Especially that last match, we seen our one of our older favorite wrestlers with the Nature Boy. like almost dying in the ring and just like looking way past his prime. That the whole thing looked just sad, bro.
Instead, he came back again and again, tarnishing that beautiful moment with every return. But while Flair's career dwindled down through repeated comebacks, The Undertaker's decline was more of a slow burn that left fans wondering when he should have stopped.
Yeah.
The Dead Man's WrestleMania streak was the stuff of legend, 21 consecutive victories that made every match at the Showcase of the Immortals feel special. Then came WrestleMania 30 in 2014, when Brock Lesnar shocked the world by pinning The Undertaker after hitting 3 F5s. The crowd sat in stunned silence. Fans had their jaws on the floor. Nobody could believe what they had just witnessed. That loss at WrestleMania 30 could have been the perfect ending to Taker's story, but instead of retiring, WWE kept bringing Taker back. At WrestleMania 32, he faced Shane.
And low key, I really think he should have just put Bray Wyatt over at the time. I mean, I know he just lost, and that was like his first time being back or whatever. It was essentially kind of like putting another nail in a coffin with Bray Wyatt's, gimmick too, because they were just like, I don't know what the hell they were doing with his gimmick. He had such a perfect gimmick too that could have just went on, but like they made him world champion way too late too. But Undertaker did not need this victory.
McMahon in a Hell in a Cell match that nobody really asked for. Then at WrestleMania 33, he lost to Roman Reigns in a match that was supposed to be his retirement, even leaving his coat, hat, and gloves in the ring as a symbolic goodbye. But that wasn't the end either. He returned for multiple Saudi shows, and by this point, The Undertaker was having random matches that felt unnecessary. But finally, at WrestleMania 36 in 2020, The Undertaker had his last match, a cinematic boneyard match against AJ Styles. It was filmed like a movie with dramatic lighting, motorcycle rides, and supernatural elements that played to The Undertaker's strengths without exposing his physical limitations. The match was widely praised and gave Taker the send-off he deserved. But while the Boneyard match was a great way to go out,
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, this was a great way to go out. Although I really wish he didn't come back for these multiple, kind of like wrestling matches. I guess like in his head, he felt like he really didn't want to go out and on a like sad note and like let that be his like last match. I mean, essentially, I get this one because it's like kind of chasing. I just want to have that one good match and just like it'll be a good send off. And the Boneyard match was a good match to get send off on, especially going out on your own terms with AJ Styles too.
fans couldn't help but wonder what could have been if he had just stopped after losing the streak at WrestleMania 30 or after the emotional goodbye at WrestleMania 33. But while The Undertaker at least got a proper send-off and went out strong, John Cena's retirement tour became a masterclass in how WWE can fumble the departure of its biggest star. After announcing his retirement at Money in the Bank in July 2024, Cena promised fans one last year of wrestling in 2025. The year started with a shocking second-place finish in the Royal Rumble to Jey Uso. But then came the Elimination Chamber, where Cena won and earned a shot at the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. However, what happened next shocked the entire wrestling world. After the match, Cena turned on Cody Rhodes, attacking him with The Rock and Travis.
This whole thing could have been like pretty good if The Rock didn't show up. Well, we could have deal with The Rock. But why the fuck is Travis Scott here? I get why the IWC gets really angry at this nigga Travis Scott being here. It was detrimental, and then he ended up like not really like putting in work to just like work a match. But like this whole storyline was just full of shit.
Scott, John Cena, the ultimate babyface, the man who represented hustle, loyalty, and respect for over 20 years, had finally turned heel. Social media exploded. The moment went viral. It was one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. The problem was, WWE had no plan beyond that one shocking moment. The Rock vanished from WWE immediately after, never appearing again during Cena's heel run. Travis Scott's involvement felt random and forced. Cena's explanation for turning heel was that he was in an abusive relationship with the fans and wanted to ruin wrestling for them by being the last real champion. It made no sense, especially when Cena was covered head to toe in merchandise advertising his retirement tour. At WrestleMania, Cena defeated Cody Rhodes to win his record-breaking 17th World Championship. The historic moment that should have been celebrated was instead tainted by Travis Scott's interference and the overall weakness of the storyline. The heel run dragged on for 5 months with forgettable feuds, and by SummerSlam in August, Cena randomly turned babyface again with no real explanation. He lost the title back to Cody Rhodes, and Brock Lesnar returned to brutally attack Cena after the match. The second half of Cena's retirement tour was much better, with excellent matches against AJ Styles at Crown Jewel and winning the Intercontinental Championship from Dominic Mysterio in November, finally becoming a Grand Slam champion. But
That's
the damage
cool
from the
as
heel
hell,
run
though.
was already done. However, just when fans thought things couldn't get worse, Cena's final match arrived at Saturday night's main event against Gunther, and WWE completely tarnished John Cena's legacy. After 20 minutes of back-and-forth action, Gunther locked in the sleeper hold. The crowd chanted at Cena not to give up as their childhood hero fought and fought, but eventually he had nothing left. John Cena, the man whose entire character was built around never giving up, tapped out in his final match, making...
Look, I mean, I essentially get it. I know Cena was pushing for this, and I know, like, he thought it was symbolic in a sense. I still don't agree with this. I really wish he didn't tap, or he could have just, like, ate a pin. But I would have been down for him to just eat a pin. But, like, tapping, come on, bro. I mean, like I said, some good events came from this, and some annoying events came from this retirement.
Cena tap out in his retirement match betrayed everything his character stood for. Kids and adults all over the world who grew up worshipping Cena as their hero were heartbroken to see their idol betray his own message. Some defended it as putting over Gunther as a future star, but it left a sour taste for many fans who...
I mean, honestly, it put over like Gunther pretty well, because he was hated as soon as he came out the gate. But what WWE is doing with Gunther right now, it's not leading nowhere. The storylines have been shitty for him. But, like, okay, worst retirements on this match that'll go for me, in my opinion, is Ric Flair's retirement. I guess I'll choose Shawn Michaels, and thirdly, I'll just kind of roll with the John Cena one, because there's been some stages I just don't agree with what happened. But overall, my pick will be Ric Flair, because he kind of tarnished everything about his retirement. Had a good retirement, came out, and then came out again when he was 70 years old, and it was just terrible. But hey, let me know what you guys pick below. What do you guys think the worst retirement on this list, or not even on this list, in general, who had the worst retirement? But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. The original link for the video will be in the description, and we are on the road to 800. I'll see you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?